Okay, here we go into the rear area. Can't see in there, can we? And then got a little door there. One paddock over here. This is the 2,500 square metre section that the surveyor suggested we take off. And over here into this famous gully. So we're going a fair portion of this down here. Oh, it's quite shallow down there. And then we go up there to the section over there, which I'll come to in a minute. Follow that around. So there's a bit of flat area there, which is good to know. And here's some more sheds. And that's a lovely old plum tree, apparently. And that tree at the front there is over 100 years old. There's some pheasants. Now, on the other side of this fence over here is a paper road that runs right along the boundary line here from the road up there, from those trees right down through there. And then this boundary fence line runs across here, and be a bit careful here because this is just fill and it's fairly loose, so I don't want to end up down in the gully. There's the gully view right across there, and across on that exposed bank is where the paper road goes down into the gully. And there's a nice flat area that I'd like to investigate down there at some stage. So there's all sorts of bits and pieces in there. There's a shed that might come in handy some stage. And there's the state highway at the moment, and as you can see, there's those power lines there. I'm not sure if you can see them on here. Let's focus in on that. Yeah, so there's power line there running across the back over there. And that's all being subdivided into 2,500 square metre lots as well. Okay. Now this piece that's jutting out the back of the house here, I'm thinking that will probably bowl over at some stage. It's got a couple of bedrooms and toilet and stuff, so it's handy at the moment, but in the long term I think we'll have to go. And then we've got there another little shed here. Emphasis on the little. Oh, and a wood shed there, that's good. And there's a couple of decent sized garages in there or workshops. We haven't actually had a look at those garages there, couldn't get in them the other day. So now I'm just going to go over to the section that looks out to the city. I wonder what that line there is. Oh, that's a clothesline. There's a clothesline. Right. going through the citrus orchard. Needs a bit of a tidy up, not a problem. And then come through here, and this is the bottleneck area for an entranceway into this lot here, which is, in my humble opinion, the prime building site for the whole subdivision. You can hear the road noise at the moment, but that will diminish as time goes by because it's going to be reduced to 60 kilometres per hour, and it's going to be a feeder road rather than a main road because the motorway is going along the road, going further along State Highway 26 towards Morrinsville. You're going to have the motorway cutting across. Now, the section doesn't actually finish at that point there. It actually finishes way over there. The boundary is way over there. But as you can see, there's some gully included in that. So this is the site that would make a reasonably good building site, elevated, so long as the traffic was down, but you'd be able to diminish the traffic noise with trees and stuff, because it is relatively noisy. There's just a continual car hum. Anyway, so over here we can walk down, and down at the bottom here the gully becomes quite accessible. I'm dropping down quite a bit, which is good because it shows how elevated it is up there. I've just come down that little hill, so that building section is quite elevated. You can't even see the house there now. There's the old original road into Hamilton before they put the new road over back. And so that land there is all Transit New Zealand's land. But anyway, carrying on down to this corner here. So we're walking right now through to the gully access, and yeah, it is a lot deeper still than I had anticipated. So it's basically unusable. There's about 2 hectares of gully included with this site, but this here is all usable in terms of planting and what have you. But what they're talking about is offering the land over there, which is adjacent to the highway, to Tainui first, and if Tainui don't want it, then to the adjoining landowners, which is us, and then if we don't want it, then to the public at large. But I suspect that we would be silly not to take it. Now, how am I going to get out of here? Oh well, I'll climb over and walk up. Oh, there we go. So that's this piece of tar seal that I'm on now is the original road, and all of the land between the fence line there and the current road is owned by Transit New Zealand, and this is the land in question that they're talking about making available to the landowners here. Now, one of the things that the surveyor has suggested is that entrance to this site here would be available off this piece of land. Not sure about the oak tree. I suppose we have to get rid of that, and there's this weeping willow. But the entranceway is up in there, because this house at number 134 its boundary is actually 5 metres further back than the boundary of the land that we've bought. So the boundary of this hunk of dirt is actually up here. Well, it's even further back than up here. Yeah. So the long and the short of it is that we'd get access through here to that land. Yeah, so there we go. The house doesn't look too bad on photos, but it's not as good as that up close and personal. Oh, and one last thing, trying to work out where to put a garage. As you come in, you can drive around into this parking bay here, so that might be a good place for a garage.